So, hey guys, it's Bats here, zooted to infinity and beyond here. Hold up. And today we are finally back with another story time video. Now, today we are going to be talking about we're going to be continuing the Dirty 30 journey, all right, boys? So, where we left off, me and my girlfriend had just broke up, and I was super sad boy mode, listening to the Juice World all the time and whatnot. And this is when I really went hard on the perks. We're going to talk about some crazy shit today. This is when I really started, like buying shit from homeless dudes and, like, hanging out at trap houses. I did meth. Shit just starts going crazy, okay? So let's just get into it. So, at this point, I've been doing perks for a little bit now, and I've kind of figured out that perks are like the main drug that people on the streets do, and that you can just buy them off of homeless people. So that's what I started doing. Whenever I wanted some perks, I just fucking went out and went to the local store and found some homeless dudes, asked them if they had any perks, and then I'd ask them if they had blues, and I would just do that until I found them. Now, eventually, one of my friends, and this is like me and these two guys that I went to high school with, we formed this little like triad, I guess, and we would like do blues together and like try and help each other get shit and not be sick and whatnot. And so one of those kids who we're gonna call what are we gonna call him? We're gonna call him Derek. All right, one of those kids. His name is Derek, and he introduced me to this like trap house, and there was like a bunch of people that lived at this trap house, like 10 people, and there was this one guy in particular that we went to, and his name was what are we gonna call him? You know what? Fuck it. Fuck this guy. So I'm just gonna say his name. His name is Chance, and Chance is a piece of fucking shit. All right, you're gonna hear some absolute fuck shit about this guy. We do not like that guy. All right. I just hold up. Okay. Yeah. But anyway, we do not like this guy. All right. This dude, he's this like 30-year-old man, fucking like curly hair. He looks like that dude from fucking, what is that movie? It's like Superbad or something. The fucking just like the fat guy. Like he's just a thick motherfucker. He loves his meth, and he's a fucking weirdo. And he's like kind of closeted gay. So I start going over to this house and I start buying off of this guy because it's like a consistent plug, and that's been like the thing throughout my like addiction, is it's been very hard to get a consistent plug. And so some days, like whenever I had like just money on my like of my own, or like I had something to trade or whatever, I would go over to this trap house and I would trade it there, usually to Chance, and it was just like that for a while. And it's just stayed like that, and I started hanging out there, and so sometimes when I would buy my pills, I would just sit there and I'd smoke them there, and sometimes I'd smoke with him, and eventually I was just going over there a lot and buying perks. And every once in a while he'd have some other people over, and talk to them, smoke with them. Like met a couple people, kind of became friends with a few of them. But then one day I go over there and I had an extra monitor that I was trying to trade for some pills. And some weird shit was going on. He like kept telling me to he went outside, and then he like left his door open, and he was like, if someone comes to the door, tell me. And I was like, okay. And then this fucking like lady comes to the door, and she's like, he's not supposed to have his door open. Like, it's, by the way, my cat is in the background and he's like dying right now. I'm sorry about that. So anyway, you know what? I'm just gonna pause it until he stops dying. Okay, we're back. So, anyway, so this lady comes to the door, tells me you can't have the door open. It was like court order or whatever. So there's what was going on is there's two people that live like basically right next to each other in different rooms in this house, but legally they're not. Like one of them has a restraining order on the other, so they're not supposed to be like in the same place. But they both live here, so like it's like this stupid thing where like they have to just like have their sections of the house like separate from each other, and they can't like see each other or whatever, and it's fucking stupid. I guess one of the guys wasn't like technically supposed to be there or whatever, but it's just stupid. And so he was trying to like catch this guy being there when he's not supposed to, so he could call the cops on him. And this was kind of a common thing where he was just an asshole to everyone in the house, and like was always trying to like backstab them and like do fucked up shit. And so he, like, fucking calls the cops on this dude, and then he tries to get me to, like, give the police a statement for him, and I'm like, what the fuck, bro? And I wanted nothing to do with this shit, dude. I was just trying to fucking trade a monitor and get some drugs, dude. I was not signing up for this shit, dude. And so I, like, went to the other section of the house, and I went to talk to the other people that were there, and it was, like, this old lady and, like, I think her husband and, like, their daughter, and then, like, a few other people in there, and they were, like, all talking about it, and then they, like, started talking to me, and they were, like, did you talk to the cops or whatever, and I was like, yeah, I want nothing to do with this shit, and I was like, I was just here to, like, trade something. This shit is crazy. I don't know what the fuck's going on. He was like, oh, well, you can actually go to this guy, and I'm not going to give him a name. We're just going to call him, Plugman. All right. He's like, oh, Plugman. He should be at the QFC down the street. I just said the name of the fucking... I'm so dumb. I just said the name of the store. It's whatever. But yeah, he's at that store down there. You should go, see him. He's in his car. And it turns out that Plugman was the guy that the other dude, Chance, called the cops on. And so it's kind of funny. I went over to him and I traded the monitor to him, and then I got more than I would have gotten from Chance. So from here on, I actually started going over there and actually going to this guy, Plugman, and, buying and trading all my shit with him because he gave me more shit and he was cool. And so I started hanging out over there and buying pills from, this guy. And this guy, he lived in the house, like, with his girlfriend. And so I started, like, kind of hanging out with them, and, like, they were cool to me. Like, that dude gave me some free shit sometimes, and, like, they gave me rides back to my house sometimes. Like, they were cool. And, yeah. Then there was, oh, God, there's a lot of shit that happened. This is going to be a long episode. So, it was like this for a while, and then I also... there was this other guy, so there was this, like, other plug one day that I was trying to get shit from, and I don't remember how, but I went all the way down to this place where this guy said he was going to be to meet him, and then he, like, never showed up, and the guy, Jacob, who, he had, like, just gotten back from rehab, like, for the 5th time, I think, and so he like came over there with me because I was gonna pay him back some for like all the shit that he's given me, just a little bit, just gonna smoke some with him, but then that didn't happen. That dude didn't show up, so then we ended up going to the trap house, and I told him, hey, if you want to like buy something or trade something, this is the guy. And I told him that like all the people live in this trap house, right? And then we go over there. Sorry, I just hit something. We go over there, and, I go up, I knock on the door, I introduce him, and that's the other thing. When you go to this house, you have to, like, knock on the door, and then they'll ask, like, who is it, and then you have to, tell them your name, tell them who you're there to see, and then if they know you, they'll open the door. And, if you're bringing a new person, then you gotta introduce them, all that. But yeah, so he comes in, and, we get our shit, and he, like, trades his phone to someone, and then he, like, sits down with Chance, and then he starts, like, just, Jacob being the guy he is, he just he just says the dumbest shit ever and just never shuts he just does dumb, stupid shit. So he sits down and starts talking to this guy, and he's like, do you think that I could move in here, if I, like, boosted stuff for you, which is, like, going to stores and stealing shit? And it's like, oh my god. Like, are you serious? This is the first time that you've met this dude, and that's the first thing that you say to him. But for some reason, Chance says yes, and I don't know if this was before or after this event. It was at some point around this. But one time I went over there, right? No, it was before. So I went over there to buy some pills from Chance, right? And I was sitting there. I stayed for a little bit, and I smoked there. And when I, like, came back to, he had his dick out, and it was covered in peanut butter. And he was talking to me, and he was like, you should lick it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I was just nodded the fuck out. I was just smoking, just chilling, nod out, and then I come back, dude's got his cock out, it's covered in peanut butter. Like, what the fuck, bro? And that was, like, one of the first, like, times that he really started doing weird shit. And this is all building up to something. So, this shit gets crazy. One of my other friends, who was the third guy in, like, the triad of people that I went to high school with that did perks with me, and we're gonna call him Jake. All right, so Jake, he had recently gotten kicked out of his house because his mom was sick of him doing fucking pills and, like, just was not gonna deal with it anymore, so she kicked him out, and he needed a place to go, and so he also moved into this house, and now they're living there, and they're, like, you know, buying shit, and they started, like, annoying the other people in the house, I guess. And so then this got, like, attached to me because I was the person who introduced the first guy. But it's like, me and that guy weren't even really friends. And then, like I had nothing to do with them staying there. Like, they did that themselves. I didn't, like, have anything to do with that. And so it kind of sucked because, like, I was, like, kind of chill with these people. And then when they moved in, it kind of, the relationship started souring. And then, at one point, it was, like, not too long after Jake had moved in there, that, this, like, thing with Chance happened. So, Chance actually raped, my friend, not my friend, my acquaintance, I guess, Jacob, you know, that guy. So, you know, I'm not gonna go into details, but he fucking raped him. And it was, like, it's not, like, a rumor or anything, like, it was... They went to the hospital a while after, and he got, like, a whole rape kit done, and, it happened. But he never, like, ended up pressing charges on him, but this got him arrested and kicked out of the house, and this was the last time that I ever heard or seen anything of Chance. I have no idea what happened to the dude, don't give a fuck, he's a piece of shit, and fuck him, honestly. And, yeah, so... That was kind of, like, the whole, like, trap house section, and then after this happened, I still went to that house for a little bit after, and Jake and Jacob actually moved out of the house after that, and they actually, Jake came over to my house for a while and stayed there, and that's like, another thing that happened, and so, yeah, for a while... Me and Jake were basically living together and, like, you know, helping each other get pills and shit and stay, you know, not be sick. And one time, and this went on for, like, a couple weeks where we were just, like, getting up every day and trying to figure out a different way to get pills, just, like, selling our shit and, like, doing other shit. And, oh, yeah, one time we went to go, like, sell some AirPods to a guy, and... it was, like, his plug, and so, or, like, one of his plugs that he knew, and we went over there, and while we were there, this guy came up to us and asked us if we had pills, and we were like, yeah, but we're getting some, and this is how we met this guy, who I can't remember his name, and I don't want to give him a name, but I should. Oh, God, we're gonna call him Gabe, alright? So, we met this guy, Gabe, and he, like... You know, he was like, all right, well, you guys want to like smoke together or whatever. And so we went and we hung out with him, and he was like sleeping in this like staircase of an apartment complex. And so we started hanging out with this guy for a little bit. He was kind of cool, and I saw him for a couple months. I would just, whenever I was over in that area where I would get my pills for, like, he would just be there. And so we would like hang out and like share our shit and like help each other out, just because. And he was all right, but I also learned later on that he was kind of weird too. Like, the way that he talked about women was really creepy, and he just talked really rapey and just like had this like dark side to him. Like, we never fought or like he, anything like that. Nothing bad ever really happened with him, but I could just tell something was off about him. And yeah, so like there was a lot of stories with him that we might talk about at some point, so I thought it was good to introduce him. And then also, oh god, there was this one time when me and Jake were living together, where we went to go, me and the triad, me, Jake, and whatever the fuck I called the other kid. We all went down to this grocery store, and we met up with this plug, and we bought some pills, and then the one guy left because he had to go with his mom. And by the way, his mom was also like a junkie, and I bought pills off of her a lot too. And like, she was the one who would like deliver stuff to me, so for a while she was like kind of my go-to as well. But that was, I think, before Jake moved in. And this is like a really jumbled timeline. This is just all of the important stuff I remember. But so we got in the car with this plug, and then he started offering us free shit, and he was like crazy, dude. He had been like on a 3-day meth bender, and he was talking about how like the rapture had happened, and that the people that like we were seeing weren't actually people, and they were being controlled by demons. And he was like, he said his parents weren't his parents anymore, just like absolutely talking insane. And he's driving at like fucking 90 miles an hour on the freeway, fucking swerving around cars and shit, just smoking more meth and just going crazy. And we like stayed in the car and just like talked to this guy because like he was giving us free drugs, so we were like, all right, cool. But then at one point he just like got crazy on us. He was like, hold up, wait, you guys are demons. And then he like starts going crazy, and he like had a fucking Beretta in his lap, and he literally like was like fucking acting like he was gonna kill us. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? I was like, if this is how I die, this is fucking crazy, bro. Like, what the fuck? I didn't know what to do. I was like, well, bro, what the fuck? Like, I was just like, bro, you don't gotta do all that. Hey, look, we didn't do nothing to you. Just like, hey, if you don't fuck with us, that's cool, but just fucking just let us out the car. Like, damn. And so eventually this dude just fucking pulls over, drops us off, and we're fucking like, we are both freaked the fuck out. We're like, what the fuck just happened, yo? And so we went back to the house. Oh my god, cat. Hi. The cat just jumped up. But we went back to the house, and we like scraped out a tutor that we had been filling up residue in all the time. That was something I would do all the time, is we'd fill up tutors with as much residue as possible, and then when we ran out, we'd scrape it out and then smoke the residue. And on God, the residue would get you higher than like actual shit sometimes, which is nice. But anyway, so at some point, after like me and Jake only lived together for like a couple weeks, and then my cousin just like got tired of him being there, and so he had to leave, which, I felt bad because I wanted to help him out. He was homeless and shit. But yeah, and then shortly after he like left, this is actually when I tried to get sober for like the first time. And I think we're gonna end it off with like the last time that I guess I used used after like before I tried to quit the first time. But this is not the end of the series, so don't worry about that. But so I decided I was gonna get sober, and so I went and I got some DXM, and I drank a bottle of DXM so I wouldn't have withdrawals. But then one of my homies who, like, we had been doing pills together, he called me up, and he was with Jake, and Jake and Jacob lived in a tent together for a while, and he was hella pissed off at Jake because he was just acting like an asshole and being hella stingy. And so I was like, damn, bro, that sucks, but hey, if you want to come over and, like, talk about it, that's cool. And he came over, but I didn't know he had, like, Fetty on him. And so, and this is one of the first times I ever did fentanyl powder, and he came over, and he, like, asked if I wanted to hit it. I was like, fuck, yeah, and I hit it a couple times, and I was chilling, Because like, dude, I couldn't fucking say no. It was already there. And then I hit it like a fourth time, and then I don't remember anything. And I overdosed. And so my homie, he had to fucking give me CPR. There was no Narcan. He called the ambulance. And then I wake up in the back of an ambulance, fucking, getting wheeled in. And I'm like, what the actual fuck? And yeah, it was a whole big thing. I was in the hospital for like 2 days. And then I got released. And then after that, I got sober for a little bit, for like a couple months. And for like a week, for like the first couple days, it was hell. And then I got a Suboxone script and like gabapentin and a bunch of other prescriptions given to me. And that, I was hella hyped for the gabapentin because I knew I could get high on that. And I abused the fuck out of that shit. I got big zooted on the gabapentin, let me tell you. Oh, boys. We're going to talk about that another time. But this video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to cut it off here. This was the Trap House section of the Dirty 30 Journey. I don't know I'm titling this video yet. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, then make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I try to read all the comments and respond to everybody's stuff. Oh my god, the cat is just going crazy. Anyway, but I try to read all of your guys' comments if I can. He's got himself tangled up. Sorry about that. I try to read all the comments if I can, and I really appreciate your guys' support. Without any further ado, stay zooted, stay lifted. Oh wait, I almost forgot. There's a Discord. Join that in the link in the description below. And add me on any social medias if you want to talk to me or anything like that. Ask me questions, whatever. Anyway, without any further ado, stay zooted, stay lifted. Peace.
I ain't give a shit. Walking in a function, right on my head. They gon' tell me that I switch. I ain't fucking missed. I know it's been a few summers, I'm so fucking pissed. Nothing to get that, get back. 22 shots and they got kickback. I cannot be scared of your bitch ass. Every time you look inside of me, that's where a bitch ass. Talk about the times you did me wrong, where the list.